Moments after the credits roll, you already know this movie about to be some gas when 2 minutes in, we get none other than the Crown Prince of Aura Farm and King Piccolo trying to find the nastiest photo shoot possible after doing Pilates on Mount Kilimanjaro.
Piccolo?
What are you supposed to be?
I'm everything you fear.
Stop it, you're scaring me.
Let go of me! Gladly.
Piccolo!
Hey, what's up?
As Big Green is doing his damnedest to curate the nastiest Instagram of all time, we see the nightmare blunt rotation of Gohan and Oolong investigating rumors that Dragon Ball activity is happening in the mountains. Gohan was out playing hooky to get a brief break from his tiger mom, while Oolong was proving that bad habits die hard. Man had been having nocturnal emissions about a pair of women's undergarments that dropped from the heavens back in his glory days of Dragon Ball, and decided that since it's been a decade, he still ain't getting no types of play from the women folk, it was time to run that back. And while they're scaling the mountaintop, the trip almost comes to an end when they discover that somehow the Dragon Balls have already been gathered together by someone else as the heavens part, and Shenlong makes his dramatic ass entrance to the glacial abode to fulfill the wishes of a mysterious third party. Crypt Keeper, with his finest remaining tooth dangling in the wind, wishes upon the almighty dragon to resurrect Dr. Wheelo from his icy prison, so he yet again grace the earth with his intellectual magnificence, and the good doctor can resume glazing him like the full-time pastry chef at Tim Hortons he is. Long declares the wish light work, and seconds later a Doug Dimmadome emerges from the ice and sets the stage for the rigmarole that will be Dragon Ball Z, the world's strongest. After our intro montage, we return to Oolong and Gohan getting pressed by a discount Cyberman. Gohan walks up to try to get his porky pal out of the line of fire, only to find the screws getting put to him as three of the Cyber Bros cousins manifest out of nowhere, and they start just taking the stuffing out of little bro. I mean, no words exchanged, these fellas had less screen time than Shanks from One Piece before they started dismantling my goat like they were recreating the Fight Back meme. But right as Buddy was about to hang up the gloves on that dream of being a scholar as he slowly felt the CTE slipping in, a big veiny green hand intrudes from off screen to put a stop to the nonsense. Y'all know the vibes. Everybody's favorite green step pops walked up to the plate to go to bat for his son. And what got me was the way mans like Piccolo dragged the little alien fellow through the snow as he asked his son why he pulled up in the middle of his photo shoot. The Jabberwockies attempt to jump green, but he beats him off low diff, no did he, and ends the session with one of those nasty ass mouth beams we ain't seen regularly since like the Saiyan saga. So that already tells you where this takes place on the non-canon timeline. As Gohan drifts off into a head trauma-induced power nap, Piccolo senses a disturbance in the force of three malicious presences around him, but it's too late, cause shortly after he caught wind, he got smoked by the rowdy rough boys. As Oolong and Gohan found themselves waking up at the bottom of a ravine next to the scene of the ass whooping. Gohan expresses his excitement over his step pops coming to rescue him as Oolong does his best to tame his trauma response related to Ma Jr. and all the emotional baggage he's built up around him over the years. As Gohan thinks about returning home as well as the whereabouts of Big Green, Oolong reaches into his groomer bag yet again and reminds Gohan that their little trip to the Andes has to remain a secret between men, because if Bulma and Kami forbid Chi-Chi found out he stole the radar and took Goku's son out in a panty raid, he might get put out the pasture for real this time. So Gohan heads home and the film treats us to an absolute banger that gets done wild dirty in the English cut. In the Japanese dub of World's Strongest, we get a quick minute or so long freestyle of son Gohan complaining about his mom having a louder voice box than Sindel from Mortal Kombat, while he likens thinking of his homeboy Piccolo to eating a refreshing afternoon snack. All the AAO aside, it's just a cute little music number of the homie Gohan expressing how much he loves his step pops and does a neat job of building character and showing the relationship between the youngins that grew up together rather than just dropping straight dialogue on the audience's dome. The English version is crazy random though, because as we watch Gohan get impressed by his mom to study as he zones off in an anxiety-induced trance, there are no Gohan vocals, only this random instrumental with zero context that seems super out of place without little man yelling his pipes out about how much he loves his pops. As Chi-Chi convinces herself that Gohan will inevitably become a D1 crash out after falling asleep doing his assignments one time, our attention moves to OVO Island where some uninvited visitors are beginning to get extra pushy. The Cybers hit the ground and immediately start pressing my man's turtle for the location of Roshi, letting him know that they know Roshi's the plug and they have business immediately. Right as Turtle starts to panic and weakly lies through his teeth that they only got some weak-ass Reggie left on the island, Roshi emerges from his home to inquire about the ruckus. My question though is just what kind of diabolical work you gotta be dropping in the bathroom that leads to a black smoke cloud being visible from your own house? Buddy invented a whole new type of diarrhea. They're gonna be studying Roshi's gastrointestinal system in Area 51 once he finally kicked the bucket. Even the discount cybers that showed up at his front door were scratching their head when OVO Roshi emerged from his fart gas coma. Willow's henchmen, henceforth known as Hot Wheels, commanded Roshi to come back to the good doctor's bachelor pad, which he politely declined and proceeded to turn his back on his unpleasant company because he had magazines to read. The Hot Wheels weren't liking that response though and intended to give Roshi that Gohan treatment. What they didn't realize though is that Roshi really be doing it out here and proceeded to one-hit KO the entire squad and ended the last cyber with a nasty little scorpion kick just to solidify his place in the Aura Farm Hall of Fame as well. This movie actually had Roshi looking kind of clean and I ain't mad at it. Buddy is a grade A goon lord, but the fit is immaculate, and this is one of the few times outside of Dragon Ball where it feels like the old man is getting his flowers for being one of the nastiest martial artists to ever do it. The Crypt Keeper emerges out of nowhere, commenting on how this display is exactly what was expected out of the world's strongest, and his company is once again being requested at the Diddy party.
Hey, everybody know ain't no party like a Diddy party, so.
Or else they may have to get a little wild with the young pretty thing he's got yoked up next to the door at the house. As foul as he can be, Roshi doesn't want to see Bulma harmed and agrees to make the trip to Willow's. And if y'all ever had any illusions on how country Goku's bum ass is, please see this exhibit of the big homie washing up in a tin barrel over some hot coals and never disrespect this game again. Oolong comes clean about the mess he and Gohan got into after what happened at Roshi's place, pressing the Goku button so the big homie can run out and do what he does best. Chi-Chi starts pressing Gohan for hanging out with that N-word Piccolo. I'm in Namek, you weirdos. But Goku tells her they got less than zero time right now for her to be going grade ape on Gohan, and he needs to skedaddle immediately, get on the Kento Un to back up his master and see what's going on with his day one Bulma. Back on Willow's island, they're putting Roshi through the gauntlet, still refusing to let them know what their motives are. And as usual, this is where the movie really begins to shine. I genuinely love this fight with Roshi versus Larry, Moe, and Curly. It's short, but not only is the animation quality on point, the room is pitch black with this kind of eerie red and pink glow on the outer rim that gives this kind of suffocating spotlight on Roshi that makes you feel just as uncomfortable as Roshi's gotta be feeling, being forced to fight for his life for some still unknown reason by creatures that look like they don't even belong on this planet. Roshi was actually cooking up too, until he threw out his signature and Dave Blunt's absorbed and reflected it, and then while he was still registering what happened, he got smoked in the 3-on-1 and was down for the count. They really had Roshi out here looking like a support in a Marvel Rivals pub server the way he was getting melted in the back line. Our view then returns to Bulma, who provides us with a lore dump on what's really going on. Dr. Kochin and Willow were a scientist duo ostracized by the community at large for their experiments considered to be a crime against humanity. Story said that both of them dropped dead 50 years ago while conducting experiments in these very mountains after a sudden weather shift. Dr. Kochin laughs this off though, saying that they very much made it, and turns the lights on the man of the hour, Dr. Wheelo, a disembodied brain in a jar looking like he came straight out of a Billy and Mandy episode. The doctor's motive is simple: to place his big sexy brain in the body of the strongest human in the world and make the earth pay for ever denying his genius. As he was talking about this though, I really had to wonder about the logistics, because how the hell he intend to fit all that gray matter into a regular human skull is beyond me. They're gonna have to pull a Mojo Jojo situation or something to have that brain coming out like a Pez dispenser, because nobody's cranium out here is ready to house all that. Bulma lets the duo know though that their info is 50 years out of date. It's true Lieutenant Roshi was once the top dog, but the tier list has been shaken up and now it's their homie Goku that's the real threat, and they wouldn't stand a snowball's chance even if they all jumped him at once. Feeling threatened with a good time, Willow agreed to take the bet as he sensed the high energy signature, and his 5-digit IQ let him know that this must be Goku. Sun drops down from his cloud and is immediately greeted by Super Saiyan Dave Blunt. Goku spends most of his time on the defensive, not because big fella's actually that nice with it, but because homie's Dragon Balls are shriveling up to pea size with how cold it is on this damn mountain. So man's like Goku action comedies his way into Willow's lair. And real quick, I gotta comment once again on the major Jackie Chan vibes a lot of these early DBZ movies have that I mess with so heavily. The choreography is top notch while at the same time being mixed with a sense of humor that creates a unique feel that you just don't get from a lot of action scenes anymore. Goku makes it inside, and after dodging enough of the obstacle in Wily's lab, he had enough of playing Mega Man and got on his Vegeta timing and smoked everything in a 20-foot radius to end the charade. When Zion showed back up and started acting crazy, Goku decided the only way out was in, powering up with his Kaioken and blowing a hole through Buddy's midsection as he slowly flopped back to Earth like it was Paper Mario, and Goku made his way to the next level. And bruh, the way Goku put Pinky to sleep with a single elbow to the nose the moment he got froggy needs to be studied. And ever on his disrespect timing when he knows he's better, Goku little bodied the dude, telling him he's too small, while he just sat there in the post looking at each other crazy for a minute. That's when Pinky's mans dropped in and decided that 2 is always better than 1, dodging Goku's attacks while him and his buddy worked to figure out exactly how they wanted to spit roast this fella. Quick shout out to this animation of Goku's hands flowing like water as he stances up getting ready to get rushed. It's that kind of stuff that makes the movie so good, man. Bruh, I said it once and I'll say it again. Bring martial arts back to DBZ. I don't even care if we keep all the colored hair. Just give me the hands again with each of the fighters being unique and bringing something new to the table, and that's all I'm looking for. And speaking of bringing something to the table, once it was 2-on-1, these fellas started treating Goku like free eats, just molly-whopping the young man like it was low diff. My favorite was the little ring around the rosy move Green Man did straight in the pink fella's knee before they set my goat flying. What they didn't anticipate though was just how much of a real crash out this fella Goku is. That combo they just did would have put any normal human to sleep. But all that junk did was piss Goku off, and he came charging right back like his name was I Show Speed running sprints, and I damn near died laughing at the look of surprise on Green Dude's face when he saw Goku charging directly at him after getting turned into a crash dummy just a few seconds before. But that would be the least of his worries, because for whatever reason, Buddy's vanishing powers picked the absolute worst time to kick off, and Goku gave him the wildest clothesline from hell I've ever seen in my life. Junk would have made George Pickens proud, while delivering one of those scorpion kicks directly out of Roshi's bag to Pinky. Goku bum rushes in yet again and starts dog walking both of these fellas until the Green Man leaves Pinky for dead and hits Goku with a whip to the back to immobilize him. That's when Big Fella decides that we need to put this fella on ice ASAP because Dr. Wheelo's health insurance ain't hitting nowhere close to what I need to fight the CTE this fella is delivering, and proceed to go Sub-Zero on Goku to stop the abuse. And right before Pinky, aka Ebi Freya, could commit to the fatality, Gohan and Krillin take a page out of my Junior's playbook and make a grand entrance to help Kakarot. But just like every scene with Krillin and Gohan, the glory can only last so long, because in seconds the two immediately jobbed Frogger's electric whip, and now all 3 of them out here looking crazy and getting their toast buttered. Real quick, I gotta comment on that cursed, wide mouth, unhinged jaw thing that happens every time a character gets yoked up by that lightning whip. For the life of me, I could not find the artist responsible, but we have seen that unhinged jaw scream happen throughout Z. In particular, that one that sticks out in my mind is when Goku is getting that gorilla grip from Vegeta before the war on Namek happened. Back to the movie though, Goku decides that he's waited long enough to get back in his hero bag, hits a Kaioken for the one time, and duffs Ebi so hard his stepbrother Raccoon will receive some of the brain damage and gives Little Green the Nappa special, complete with carrying him under his arm like a gym duffel bag after the deed was done. Goku gets his little homies off the rocks and they proceed into the internal chamber to get Roshi and Bulma. Stuck behind an energy field, the good doctor takes the moment of Goku's disorientation to his advantage, chaining him up in a barrier himself to prepare his body for the prequel to Jordan Peele's Get Out. As Willow primes his neurons for the new body, it's revealed that Piccolo has been made into the doctor's new boy toy, with the Crypt Keeper using his vast powers of science to control the evil in Piccolo's heart and make him do his bidding. Man, they was really out here with the prototype Majin transformation. That's kind of wild. Goku breaks out just in time, because Gohan quickly learns that this ain't the stepdaddy you take home to mom when Piccolo slaps the taste out of his mouth while the Golden Brain and Goku get the boxing. Here we get another mouth-watering display of animation as the back and forth between Goku and Piccolo happen, while Gohan mourns the fact that he has to watch both of his daddies beat the senzus out of each other as he stands there helpless. Apparently something about Gohan's screechy ass voice is sending possessed Green up a wall, because mid-scrap with his daddy, he turns to Gohan and readies to put him in a pack. Then Goku catches the play just in time and launches the energy away before my Junior could change the timeline, and had Chi-Chi going praying mantis on Goku when he walked through that door with only Gohan's size 4 paper bag 11s, saying my bad, I let him play with Piccolo again. Unable to manage his emotions any longer, the angry Gohan buff activates and energy is sent coursing through the entirety of Willow's lair. Willow, whose IQ may actually live up to his name, tells the Crypt Keeper to keep his mouth closed, recognizing that something's off with this kid, and his strength seems directly connected to how many Dino Nuggies are stolen off his plate. Dr. Kochin was unable to help himself though, telling Gohan to shut his small ass up and go back home before he decides to go back with him and backshot his mom, since apparently his dad ain't doing it right. At this point, Gohan loses it, his energy sending ripples through the lair, severely damaging the control he has over Piccolo and the machinery keeping Bulma locked up. Krillin steps up to the doctor and demands he release Bulma. Kochino laughs though, letting Krillin know that while he may be out of time, he ain't out of options, and pulls out the extendo with the extended mag and starts spraying the whole place down. Deciding he won't be the only one crashing out, he points the blick at Bulma, but right before he lets one fly, OVO Roshi arrives from the heavens and dismantles the gun. It appears the day may finally be saved. Piccolo is out of Snow Bunny mind control, Roshi and Bulma are released and back on their feet, and the Crypt Keeper has been disarmed. But there's still one last order of business to be discussed, because Dr. Wheelo emerges from his gingerbread mold in the wall as a fully functional mobile suit and reminds everyone that he is the final boss. During his emergence, Olympic-level glazer Dr. Kochin gets wiped out as he falls through a bottomless pit in the mountains and gets zapped to death by the doctor's aura, which probably ended up being the happiest moment of his life. I promise y'all, Dr. Kochin is the new face of glazers. The way he was doing tricks on Dr. Wheelo's pole should be studied in every strip club in America. Absolutely unbelievable work. As Willow presented himself as the final hurdle, the gang gets one of the absolutely wildest group photo ops of all time as they prepare to take on Mandark. Piccolo hops in first because he's butthurt he got caught lacking the way he did and was forced to put hands on his son. And it's the first to be met with the "oh shit, Willow got hands" realization. Willow really had the whole squad looking like an online match of Spark and Zero pre-patch. He tanked a full squad Kamehameha and was one shot in each member like it was the end of the month and rent was due. Gohan tried his best to embody the spirit of his pops, unveiling the power pole on his back only to get slapped low dip as Goku and Piccolo were left to clean up his scraps. You'll never see me complaining about a chance to watch adult Goku work his power pole. That's an absolutely wild sentence, I apologize. But even the combo of Big Green and Kakarot seemed to not be enough to put Willow down for good. Goku decided there was only one way out, so he pulled out his Trin pin and activated a Kaioken, putting Willow on his back with an insane display of power and finishing off the flurry with a Kamehameha for a clean sweep. Willow proved that he would not be going silently into that good night though, forcing Goku to turn up the noise on his Kaioken and sending him into space for the finish. Or so Krillin thought, but Willow was running off of no less than 16 honey packs and raw hatred of the human race, so his vengeance would not be denied. So it was time for his ultimate trump card. Blast Thickneck concluded that the only way out of this one was a spirit bomb, and he urged the rest of his homies to get to safety, cause this had the possibility to get real ugly. As Slate Slab Rock meditated and channeled the beauty and power of nature into his fist, Dr. Strange decided he would not be following the DBZ handbook and sent out a cascade of energy directly on Goku's location to stop any sort of comeback shenanigans. As Earth's greatest hope is getting lit up, the Peanut Gallery decides to embrace their non-canon movie buffs and fly into space to help out with the Willow fight. Gohan looks upon his stepdad with pride as he uses his hot-ass breath to explode Willow's fish tank and expose his brain in the vacuum of space. This doesn't stop Willow from disrespecting Krillin as much as possible though, giving him a solitary bitch slap across the face, reminding him that non-canon movie buff society is still ass. Willow decides that it's time for him to cut out the middleman and sends a beam of apocalyptic energy straight to the Earth's surface to explode the planet from the outside, opting for speedrun tactics rather than savoring the moment. It's then revealed that Smoke Man Muscle is still alive with the Genki Dama intact. And as he cherishes and appreciates the warmth Mother Earth has lent him to defend its inhabitants, he takes aim and sends an absolute "dah" up into the stratosphere, blowing directly through Willow's bad vibes beam and directly into the chest of Willow, ending the madness for good. Returning to the surface, the squad finds Goku struggling, but alive in the drifting snow and are thankful that their friend was once again able to save the Earth from its darkest hour. As Big Green prepares to head back to get on Pinterest for more aura farming ideas, he tells Goku his son did well, providing the kind of positive reinforcement you can only get from a strong African-American father figure. The movie ends with Roshi gassing himself up being called the world's strongest, only to have the team bring him back down to Earth and remind him of his status as the Earth's foremost gooner. The film ends as Goku and friends laugh in Roshi's face about the fact that he never has and never will get any bitches, and the screen fades to black and credits roll. Dragon Ball Z, The World's Strongest, is a time capsule of early DBZ, showcasing series blends of martial arts, sci-fi, and charm you can only find and get from the mind of the GOAT himself, Akira Toriyama. May he always rest in power. What do you think of The World's Strongest? Is it one of your favorites, or do you think it's overshadowed by some of the later movies? Let me know in the comments below, and also if you would like to see more movie coverage continue. Be easy, Dragon Squad, and I'll catch you again in the next video.